I'm back again. It's almost 4 a.m. and yeah. But I'm just gonna do a short one on um, on how to take control of your thoughts, how to make them obedient to Christ. Um, so some people, when it comes to trying to spend time with the Lord, they have a grocery list of thoughts that are just streaming by, and it just feels like it's almost impossible to focus and to concentrate, right? And we want to be able to thwart that. We want to be able to fix that. And so um, I think the first one. So the first vision I'll show you is, imagine that you have a handful of pebbles um, in your hand, little tiny rocks in your hand, and you're standing at a lake. You're standing on like a grassy embankment, and there's a lake in front of you, and you look down at your reflection inside the water, and you can perfectly see your reflection. Um, Now, throw the pebbles at the water, and you'll see that it'll start rippling and going all over the place. And try to look and see if you can see your reflection. You can't. The only thing that you're going to see is a bunch of ripples caused from the pebbles. Well, those pebbles represent your thoughts. As long as there's thoughts continually being thrown into the waters, you're not going to be able to come to a place of stillness where there's that reflection, where there's that connection with the Lord that you're looking to really come forward to grasp hold of, right? Um, so so the question is how do you take control of these thoughts? Um, well, I'm going to show you a method on how to control them, and let's say that we just take it one step at a time. Let's just say that you spend a little bit of time with the Lord, and you're trying to focus as much as you can, right? You're trying, and then you've got thoughts going everywhere. Maybe you can successfully do it for 2 to 3 seconds before a thought comes into your mind. Well, imagine the likeness of ocean waves. How when you first get up to the ocean, just a little bit of a small thin layer of water barely makes it up your toes, right? But it's under your feet, and you can feel it. It's really, really thin. But if you keep walking forward, the water starts to get a little bit deeper, where it goes up past your toes into your ankles, right? Well, so those small strides of like the 3 seconds of time of being able to stay focused on the Lord is like that little water coming. And notice that as you're walking out toward the ocean, you're not stepping backwards. You're actually staying at the same point where you started. And that's the way it is. I kid you not. That is the way it is when you practice this. When you practice this, you start out slow, and as you continue to practice, it gets easier and easier and easier um, to hang on to that focus for longer periods of time. Um, Actually, hold on a minute. It actually gets a little bit more difficult. You get to start at the same point, um, but the waves get bigger. That means more thoughts come in, right? It gets harder. So let's say that you're up here like your calves now, right? It's a little bit harder to stand in the waters, right? And the waves are coming, they're crashing, and now they're up to your knees, right? But the whole thing is you're standing there. You're not moving backwards. You're still standing there. You're fine. Um, and every time you come in to meditate, if you've gotten to that point of holding that awareness, holding that focus toward the Lord, that's gonna that ceiling that you have reached is going to be your new floor. That's going to be your starting point, right? And it's the same thing with like visions and manifestations. If you have actually ventured in through a portal and you've actually seen certain things, and you remember that and you know the feeling of it, that can be your starting point. You can actually start there. But we're not talking about that right now. Right now we're talking about taking control of thoughts. So there comes a point where you get to the largest wave, the biggest wave, before crossing the ocean bar and entering the open ocean. Once you get to that point where you are over that big wave, you are now submerged and not submerged. You're now able to be in the open ocean, and you could just like get on a calm raft and just ride around the waves without having to row and and struggle to get over the small waves and then the mid ones and then the bigger ones and then the large ones and then the largest one before you get to the ocean bar. Once you get out into the open ocean, now when you begin to focus on the Lord and meditate on Him, that's your starting point. Your starting point is now at the point where you don't have to fight anymore. Okay, now. Another thing that you can think about is a corridor. This corridor that you're in is... So you're standing in a corridor, and the hallway to that corridor is in front of you, and it is light years long. It is huge in length. And thoughts can't travel that fast. So imagine that all of the thoughts that are coming toward you have to go through that corridor. There's no two ways about it. And it will take forever for them to get there. Which means that when one arrives, you only have to deal with one. So you're looking at it from them coming toward you, and you're like, okay, no, there's no other thoughts. The other ones are on their way, but I can make a cup of coffee before they get here, right? And drink it and make another pot. So you're just looking at this thought, and you're like, do I want to consider this? Do I want to make this thought obedient to Christ? Or is this from Christ and something that I want to engage with, right? So you can do that. And you could also have it to where you're not even in there. You could have it actually to where you're in a corridor behind that corridor and put an angel in between you and the thought and have the angel identify it to see if it's of the Lord or not. If it's not, have him crush it. And then have him relay all the good thoughts to you, right? So that you only have his thoughts. Okay, so there's that, and then now I'm going to give you the understanding of a movie theater. Now this is very interesting because in life you're normally used to walking around with your own focus and your own self concentrating on your own reality in your physical body and such, right? Well, this understanding is going to show you how to take an external look at who you are and what is really going on, and you can identify different things that are happening. So let's say that you walk into a movie theater, get your favorite candy bar. You gotta have a candy bar, right? And get some delicious popcorn, put lots of butter on it if you like butter. If you don't like butter, you don't put the butter on. It's all good. There's no increase in cholesterol in this vision. You can put anything you want in it. And you can even have pop. You can drink all the pop you want. Or if you want water, you can have water. Whatever. Okay, grab your stuff and go into a movie theater. There's nobody else in there. You can leave the door unlocked or you can lock it. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Now, go and sit down in the middle of the theater or the place where you are the most comfortable. And you'll notice that there's a remote control sitting right there. A remote control in the theater? I know it doesn't usually happen in theaters, but in this one it does. So the lights are dimming down. The curtains are drawn right now. The curtains are closed. The red curtains are closed. You're not seeing nothing. The lights are dimming down all the way down to the point where there's no longer anything that you can see. But you can see a faint, dim glow of the red curtain that is now parting apart, and what you are seeing is a blank white screen. That's all. This movie's pretty boring, isn't it? Right now it is. Wait till you see what happens. So you're staring at this white screen. This white screen is you. It's you here, not you there on the movie theater watching the show. So what you do is you picture yourself thinking. Picture yourself thinking. And then whatever comes onto the screen, let it come. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it goes slow. It doesn't matter if it goes fast. And if it is going fast, if the thoughts are crossing by so fast that you can't keep track of what's going on and you're just overwhelmed, like, whoa, what is going on here? You have the remote control in your hand to slow it down, to pause the frame, and to make it go frame by frame if you want to. Picture by picture is what frame by frame is. And by doing that, you can choose to control which thoughts to pay attention to. Now, as you're doing this from an external perspective, you're actually also doing it from a real perspective. You really are controlling your thoughts at this point. So if you see the Lord Jesus and doing the dishes and shopping for groceries, then you can just pause it, like right at groceries, rewind it back to Jesus, so that groceries and doing the dishes are on the other side of him. And then you could expand him to where he becomes the fullness of the screen and the other ones get pushed out. And so now it's just Jesus that you're seeing, right? And so you can focus on him. So now you're looking in from the external perspective at the Lord Jesus, who is on you and in you, right? Another thing that you can do is you can check to see what your emotions are like. You could say, picture yourself being emotional. And that could mean anything. But you're paying attention to the screen. You're observing. Just keep observing the screen. And then whatever shows up on the screen is the emotion that you're feeling. It could be love. It could be something good. It could be something bad. It could be anything. It could be fear. It could be a joy or contentment. It could be anything. And it'll probably be pretty intense when you see it. It may be, it may not be. But if it is intense, then keep observing and actively say that you're going to now picture yourself calming down. And then what does that look like? What is the shift in your emotions looking like with the calming down, right? And you can look at these things, and you can and these things can really help you get a good perspective on how your thoughts are and emotions are going on inside of you from an external side, right? Not you experiencing the emotion, but you watching you experience the emotion and the thoughts. And so it gives you the ability, it gives you an edge on being able to actually make all of it captive to the Lord, you know. So, yeah, that was a short one, but I think it's necessary to be able to know that, because it helps you to be able to stay more focused on the Lord. I'm hoping that helps you guys out. Okay, this time I really am going to bed. I've gotten through a lot of material tonight, and I wanted to give you guys some because I've been kind of AWOL for a day or so because I've been really, really busy with stuff. But anyway, I love you guys and have a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next video.